when a man hears about, oh, you're a dating coach, their first thought is, oh, wait, does that mean you're better than me? Does that mean you get more girls than me? Does it mean you slept with more women than me? Like, they start to make these comparisons. And especially if you don't look like they would expect you to. Like, oh, if you're a dating coach, that means you have to be 6'2" with abs and this and that. They're going to be very skeptical. So that can be a barrier. But to some, it's also like, wait, he looks like me, so I'm more likely to learn from him. I think that's quite important as well. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Conversations with myself, Francis Koh. Yet again, we have another exciting show ahead. My next guest is an author, a musician, a businessman, a dating coach. He believes that in life we are all born to find someone. But in order to do that, there's certain things that we need to put in motion in order to increase our probability of finding that live one that we're seeking. To do that, it requires help. It's not easy, but it's possible. Please allow me to welcome to the show the man who wrote The Infinity Man, Mr. Terence. I do.
Yes.
Hey, yes, my brother. How are you?
Very well. That's a good intro.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for agreeing to do this. We've been trying to put emotion for a very long time. See, a lot of people actually don't understand how long it takes to get a show going.
Right, yeah.
This was what, 8 months? If not more?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after Snatch's interview, right? Yeah.
We're here. Tell us a bit about yourself. You wear many hats. You're a musician, a good spitter that is as well as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Dating coach, which I'm very interested about that, because I think we all need help in certain department on finding love.
Right.
And the author. Let's start off with the author. How did the authoring thing come about? What made you decide to write this book?
The Infinite Man, I think it was a culmination of everything that I've been through in a dating context since I was maybe 15, 16.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends how far you want me to go back, you know.
Let's go as far as you want to go.
Yeah, so I guess in school, I was always like reasonably popular and stuff like that. But there would be the certain girl, you know, like the hottest girl in your school or your year. She might go to a school nearby or whatever. And I'll just always end up being their friend, which is nice. But
Got put in a friend zone.
yeah, but then, you know, you'd see maybe your boys, they're actually dating them and you're just their friends. And then you're just like, okay, what do they have that I don't have? So I guess, yeah, I think it was my first time getting out of the friend zone when I was, I think 15.
How did you do it? Do you remember?
It was just a case of, you know what, do you want to go out with me? Like I just plucked up the courage one day via maybe MSN or BBM or one of these things.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, she was like, yeah. And then I was like, okay. But at the same time, I didn't know how to handle now being in a relationship with somebody that is this attractive, gets this much attention from other boys, or yeah, because we're boys then. So yeah, and it was like, okay, cool. And yeah, I didn't handle it well maybe, and she eventually left me for the local shotter, as they say, or as I mentioned in the book.
So you wasn't popular enough. You wasn't making enough money in comparison to the local. And she didn't know. I'm gonna assume she didn't know what she wanted, because no woman really wants to let go of a good man to be in such hot waters with the local shotter.
That's the thing. Women want more than one thing, even at that young age. You know, I think we were 15, 16. So it's like they want excitement, but they also want comfort. So if you're not bringing excitement, then eventually they're going to look for somebody more exciting.
So if you bring comfort, so you're saying they value excitement more than they value comfort?
Yeah, especially at that age or younger. I think as women get older, they start to value
Comfort.
comfort more, as they call maybe the danger zone or whatever. And it has some basis, because ultimately women's prime imperative is to survive, and yeah, if somebody's exciting but they're always disappearing, or they or they have loads of women, there's going to be a certain element of uncertainty. You don't know whether they're going to be able to provide for you when you have a baby or protect you. So,
And then they move on.
yeah, exactly. So that's why they start to go for more comfort later on.
So let's go back. So she leaves you.
Yes.
What was your mental state in that? Because it's a big thing, because you're 15. I'm assuming you're 15 at this age.
Yeah.
And when you're 15, you think you're the man, you got this girl, and she leaves you. For most people, that's make or break for years to come.
Yes.
Because we might say, oh, you're only 15, you'll be all right. That's make or break.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to forget that.
You don't.
For a long time. How did you deal with that situation? Obviously, you came out nice, writing books, giving advice now. But how did you come out of it?
I think the first thing was, I started going out more. You start, going to events. I think at the time there was like under 18s raves and stuff, so I'd go to them. And this kind of leads into what kind of led me on this path is that I used to go to an under 18 rave called, it was at 195 in Essex, or Epping.
That's a lot. So where are you living at this time?
So I was living in Woodford at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd be going to those events, and then one day I just saw some two like white guys in the club, but they all were like with the hottest girls in the club, and I was thinking, wait, these are like some random looking nerds, but why are they with her and her and her and her? So eventually through like some circumstances, we eventually became friends. I think we went to the club one day and an event was cancelled, but we just got speaking. I think we had some mutual friends. So I was speaking to the guys, and we just became friends, started to go to house parties together. And then eventually they let me in on like their secret, because I wanted to know like why.
There's a cheat code, ladies and gentlemen. There's a cheat code.
There's a cheat code. Like what's going on? Like,
yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, we studied this thing called P-Way or pickup artistry, like the mystery method.
Is it actually a course, or it's online, or it's something they just observed themselves and made it up?
No, so it was mainly online at those times. So this was like 2010. So it was kind of towards kind of its peak actually. So there was like a TV show on VH1 called The Pickup Artist that you could learn from. There are a few other smaller shows like Keys to the VIP. And other kind of pick-up artist shows, and there were courses and online forums, websites. But obviously you're kids, so you can't really afford to go on the courses, because these courses might be like 10 grand, 20 grand. So you're just picking up bits from the internet, But they picked up enough to like,
So give us 5 cheat codes to help our young men. Is this for men or women, or mostly for men?
For men.
There's a lot of guys out there who don't have game.
Right.
Even older men.
Yes.
I'm one myself.
Why don't I believe that?
No.
Too smooth, brother.
Please help. I just want 5. Rasta, can I have a pen and paper, please, to take this down? I'm sure we got it recorded. Just give us 5.
5. So from that time, because there's been different eras in the game, seduction, dating industry. But back then it was DHVs, so demonstrating higher value. So if I say, I'm new, if I meet a girl in a club and I say, oh, I'm new in the city, can you take me around? That shows that, one, I'm not well connected, I'm not confident enough to go around the city myself. But if I say, oh, my friend's having a pool party in
what if you don't have a friend with a pool?
That's the thing. That's the thing. So especially early on in game, men were encouraged to lie about, their lifestyle to attract women because
But
they know that would trigger
But that's a sense. That's haram.
her.
Like you're lying on the first moment, so
For real.
you're already setting up the date to fail. Are you not?
Yeah, but not necessarily depending on
Your game.
depending on your game because there's always like some other way around it. But this is, as I said, there's been, maybe I need to explain a bit more of the context. Like there's been different eras in the gaming / romance seduction industry. So the first one it was all about scripts. So you'd write a script of a conversation. So this is how you start a conversation. Like this is the conversation topics you should talk about. And she's gonna have these responses, and if she has this response, it was like a long game script, and that's where there was a lot of lying and whatever to kind of portray that, like I'm this high level person, rather than so fake it till you make it.
Sorry to cut you off. Do men still play this game now?
Oh, definitely.
The script.
Yeah, the script. They still do the script, but not as many. It's kind of become old fashioned now.
So what's in fashion? What's replaced that?
What they call direct game, direct. So, when you meet a woman, just being like, yeah, I think you're beautiful. Tell me something about yourself. Finding ways of just being direct. No kind of beating around the bush.
So is that where you said I either want a relationship or I just want fun? That direct.
You can be. It depends on the context, isn't it? Depends on the context. Like if it's in a nightclub, you can be a lot more direct than maybe if you meet a girl on Oxford High Street, Oxford Circus High Street. So sorry, I cut you off so many times. Let's go back. So we found one way. DHV. So basically, so one way to DHV. So demonstrate you have high value in some
They
some
even
area.
got acronyms for these. Wow. Go on. DHV.
Yep. You have to be conscious of. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in acronyms then. IOIs, indicators of interest. So if she starts playing with her hair, or she's looking you in your eyes, and she's playing with her drink, or she keeps touching you, playfully or whatever, that's an indicator of interest. So you need to be aware of these things because a lot of men are very oblivious when a woman's interested in them. And if you don't catch on to a woman being interested in you quick enough, she'll lose interest.
Oh, so there's a time.
Yeah, there's a time.
What's
frame.
the time? 10 seconds to 2 minutes, 5 minutes? What?
It's not really. There's no set time, but the longer you leave it, especially.
I'm guessing she's starting to feel self-conscious and say
yeah,
he doesn't like
oh,
me, so she's protecting herself.
Exactly. Okay. Because women, as we mentioned,
We'll get to that. We'll definitely get into that.
Yeah.
So we on 2.
Yep. Cool. Number 3, eye contact, which it sounds basic,
but it's hard. A lot of people. I find it difficult to keep eye contact.
Right. I remember when I first got into more direct dating. It's like one of the things that you have to do is to hold eye contact till you feel uncomfortable, just so it just becomes a habit.
So wouldn't that be like creepy?
It can be if she doesn't like you. You get it? Yeah.
So we got demonstrate high value.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
IOIs. So noticing when she's interested in you. Yeah.
Eye contact.
Yes.
So that's 3. 2 more.
Oh, 2 more. A cheat code.
Yeah, we want the cheat code.
You want a cheat code.
We want the cheat code.
Frame. Holding frame.
What's that?
Frame is like, so it's like frame of reference. Basically, who has the dominant standpoint. So if she says, oh, I don't like jollof, and you say, oh, I don't date girls who don't like jollof, then you've established your frame. So it
So
means,
you got the dominance.
yeah. But if she says, "Oh, I don't like jollof," and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't really like it either," when deep down you actually like it, you're now in her frame. Is that context that you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
But there's different ways you can
Yeah.
capitulate, basically.
So are we fighting for frame? Do I need, as a man, do I need to have frame, or is it best if the woman have frame?
No, it's better that you have the frame.
So the man needs to have frame. Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Last one.
Last one. I'm trying to not give you the basic ones. I'm trying to give more.
No, we'll take the basic. We'll take whatever you're the coach. We'll take whatever you give us.
Yeah, that's the thing, because there's so many levels and nuances that it's always important to.
Let's go basic.
Basic.
If they want higher level, they have to come to your course. There you go.
Right. Cool. And then fashion. Fashion is very important. So knowing the context of where you're going to, you know, if you're going to a festival, you know, you're not going to go in a suit unless you're doing that for a reason. You want to stand out, which back in the day they'd call it peacocking. You know, peacocks, they grab a lot of attention with their feathers and whatever.
So your drip has to be on point.
Yes.
Chale, that's expensive.
It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to look well, fit you well.
Yeah.
That's important.
And posture, because I noticed you always you straight.
Right. Yeah, I get that a lot. I think that just comes with confidence. But yeah, that is important. Your body language. Body language is probably the most important thing, because that's how you're communicating, and it communicates a lot about you and how you feel and what your comfortability level is within yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Personal question coming up next.
Go ahead.
How well are these since your first failure at 15? How well have you thrived in a dating game?
Very well.
What's your body count? No, mate. Don't answer that.
This is a back chat.
Don't answer that. That just your reaction says it all. No, I'm joking. So then at what point did you then decide, you know what, I want to be a dating coach. I want to coach people how to improve their chances of success.
So I think it was around the beginning lockdown times. 2020, where that's when I started to write the book. And then the idea just came to me, okay, I'm writing this book based on my experiences, it's going to help men. But this book is just a beginning. You know, I can't put everything I've learned and everything I'm going to learn in just a book. You know, so I thought, coaching, as in being able to see how they interact in person, being able to give that one-to-one feedback on specifically what that man and now woman is doing wrong in a situation, while doing right, etc., where they can improve. It will take things to a higher level, you know. Like a book will be it's like a gateway, where it's not the same as having an actual coach teaching you, you know.
Is it a thriving industry, the date coaching?
Yes, it's changed. It's definitely changed. Now it's more about, you know, how to use, you know, apps, you know, how to use Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever. Whereas before it was more about how do you go out, meet women in clubs, in parks, like when you're like going to work in central areas of cities. Whereas now it's becoming more about your online presence, how to get more matches that turn to dates, and how to use Instagram and other social media so it's becoming a lot more online. But yeah, dating coaching is definitely still prominent, but not as prominent as before.
As a dating coach, you coach men, you coach women.
Yeah.
Who's the most challenging to coach? And why?
Yeah, I think is from my experiences, women are harder to coach. But I think women come to you with more specific problems. A man might be like, okay, I want to get better with women in like a general sense. Whereas women, when they come to you, is generally, I want to get better with, to attract this specific man. And if that man's not interested, they just don't let it go, you know.
Then they blame you.
Not they blame me, but it's like, how can we make this work? You know, like one of my clients, like I told her, please don't message this guy anymore. Like, just focus on yourself for now. And if he's interested, he'll reach back out to you, because, you know, absence can make the heart fonder, etc. And yeah, she ended up finding his mum's name on Google, calling her work and to speak to her to say, oh, your son's not been treating me right.
What?
Yeah. So it was like, you've now completely ruined the situation.
That's cycle.
Exactly.
That's not healthy.
100%. And it's like, now it's like, there's nowhere to go from there. So if you did want him to be in your life,
who's more difficult to bring on board, men or women?
Men. You know, men are very skeptical naturally, because it's like, when a man hears about, oh, you're a dating coach, their first thought is, oh wait, does that mean you're better than me? Does that mean you get more girls than me? Does it mean you slept with more women than me? Like, they start to make these comparisons. And especially if you don't look like they would expect you to. Like, oh, if you're a dating coach, that means you have to be 6'2" with abs and this and that. They're going to be very skeptical. So that can be a barrier. But to some, it's also like, wait, he looks like me, so I'm more likely to learn from him. I think that's quite important as well. Yeah.
Do you ever get people in relationship coming to you asking for the cheat code to playing outside the field? I take it as you have. That laugh.
They have, but never seriously. Not like not like somebody, I'm going to pay you to teach me, you know, how to play outside the field. But it's like, oh, is there a way to kind of get around?
Is there?
Yeah, there is. But
is there an acceptable way? A reason that you as a coach can justify. So, okay, yeah, I can understand, and that makes sense.
No, I don't believe people should step out of relationships. However, if you want to change your arrangement, then that's a conversation you can sit down to have. But I don't advise it.
But a lot of people do it.
Yes, cheating is rife.
Why do you think? Because you speak to people coming with so many different problems. What do you think is the main reason why people do it?
I think generally from men's perspective, it's kind of variety, maybe a lack of sex in the relationship, because that's another thing. Like, a lot of relationships, they start off hot, but then you get very familiar with each other, so you're not having sex as often, you know, you're not making effort for each other. So especially on the men's part, they can feel they're not getting that attention. So, you know, then you go out with your boys, or, you know, you end up scrolling Instagram, or some girl DMs you or something, and then, you know, you pounce on the opportunity because you've not been receiving that. And I think it's something I talk about in the book as well. Like, a lot of what we experience is based on a void. You know, we feel a void, and then if we try to fill it. But if you're not feeling fulfilled in your relationship, you're going to try and fill it elsewhere.
And how can that conversation be had in a relationship?
You have to be very patient and very honest. This is how, but it's always important not to make it about the other person.
Yes.
Yeah, it
it's
has
not
to be
blame. It's not
blame. Oh, you're not doing this for me or whatever. It has to be, this is how I feel. This is what I think would be best to spice up or improve our relationship. And yeah, there's gonna be some resistance sometimes. You know, she might be like, "Oh, what are you trying to say?" You know, but it's important to have that conversation. Because if you don't, then you'll end up stepping out, or the relationship will just end up, you'll start arguing more because there's sexual tension that's not being released. So yeah, there's a lot of that.
What's the key to finding happiness in a relationship? Because I'm sure a lot of people come to it, the number one thing they probably tell you is they want to be happy. They want to find someone who suits them to the T, so they're happy, hence why they're dating all over the place. What's the key to finding happiness in a relationship, in your opinion, as someone who deals with people who comes to you all the time?
The key is finding happiness in yourself first. Not complete happiness, because that's not possible for an extended period of time, but to recognizing yourself why you're not happy and not look externally for that happiness. The happiness somebody brings you should be an addition to the happiness you're bringing yourself. You know, so it's like if you're not working out, or you're eating terribly, or your work situation is not great, then you're going to feel bad in yourself. And then if you're not conscious, you're going to start trying to get that energy from your partner. But what you really need is to change that situation yourself first, or at least be working on changing it. So not relying on your partner and projecting your insecurities onto them too much, because you're always going to do it to some level, but not too much. So happiness first inside yourself, so that you can radiate happiness outwards, and then that will attract more of the right people towards you.
That's amazing. So I found happiness. I'm super happy with myself.
Yes.
What's the one thing? I know you said parents and everything. What's the one thing, unless you still stick with that, that can bring more clientele my way as a single man out there?
Are you calling you're calling the women clientele? Yeah.
Let me clarify this. I only use the word clientele because that's the business you're in.
Right.
Let me just clarify that.
Cool. Service. Giving women.
I'm only asking this question for Rasta. He told me, can you please make sure you ask him this question?
Right. The main thing is you're happy in yourself. It then is all about being direct. Not uncalibratedly direct, you know, just indiscriminately going up to women like, hey, I want to sleep with you, but being direct, like, okay, I'm attracted to you.
Do you say, so what if you got a guy who doesn't have the courage? Because one of the most thing that we are scared of as humans is rejection.
Right, yes.
That's why we don't do anywhere near what we want to achieve, because we're scared. So I'm seeing how, as you said, it's as simple as I like you. How can I overcome that to say I like you?
So you have two options. You just do it, as in maybe you have somebody behind you, like a coach or somebody that's going to encourage you. But the thing is, when you have a coach, that's only going to get you so far, because you need to be able to do it when they're not around. Like you can't, I can help you, but when I'm not around, are you still going to have the courage to do it? Or do you just have the courage because I'm here, you know, giving you social pressure to do it? Because if you don't do it and you paid for a service, then you're going to feel bad. But yeah, that's one way, you know, having somebody coaching you, or even a wingman or a friend that's just going to be like, yeah, go and do it. So that's one way. The other way is warm-up sets. So you just warm up. You take out your phone. You see two girls at the bar, or a group of, you know, mixed group. You just go, hey, can you take a picture of me and my friend?
Is that a warm-up set?
Yeah, so you just say, can you take a picture of me and my friend? And then now, most people are polite, you know, so they'll take the picture. And then you'll be like, oh, I just spoke to somebody. Like, I spoke to some women. I feel more relaxed in myself. So then you're like, okay, I've spoke to them. Let me now take the next step, which is let me approach somebody properly.
I just want to say something. Guys, if you ever met me and if I ever asked you to take a picture of me and my friend in the past, I promise it was not a warm-up set. I had no idea that exists.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes people come up to me and say, "Can you take a picture?" They use me as a warm-up guy.
No.
I look like the warm-up guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about knocking my confidence.
Yeah. It's not because of your photography skills.
It's not because of my skills. It's me thinking. And I take loads of pictures. How is that? Yeah, it's all right. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It's like with anything, you know, with singing, you have to warm up your vocal cords. With acting, you have to warm up, you know. So it's like you're warming yourself up to be in a sociable state. That's essentially what it is.
There was so much. There's too many levels to this game.
Oh, there's so many levels. But the main thing is, it's all about as well, what is the end result you want? Because you don't have to go through all the levels.
But I guess once you start, you get addicted. You want to learn.
Yeah, that is one of the traps. You can get addicted, you know.
So would we say, are you a guru, a sensei? What level are you on in the game?
No, I'd say I'm, sensei, but I'm not a god.
Oh, so you working your way up there.
No, I think I'm quite happy at my level, you know.
Charlie, are you single?
I'm single.
I guess a dating coach, can a dating coach be in a relationship?
Yeah, many are. And you know, when I first started, I was in a relationship as well, yeah.
When you first started, and what was your other half? How do you navigate that conversation? I've got these women calling me up, I'm going to give them advice on dating. And the missus is okay with that?
Oh, it can present a problem, you know, because especially when you're coaching men in person, because a lot of times I'm having to, you know, demonstrate or, you know, be a wingman. So yeah, it can create.
You actually go out being a wingman as well?
Yeah.
And they all pay for it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you could start a career as a wingman.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't want to be the coach.
You just want to be the wingman.
Yeah, just call me to come in. Like you said, Francis, there's this and that. I need a wingman. I need a wingman there.
Yeah. you want the less stressful option,
yeah.
basically. Yeah.
I just want to be there. Free drinks, free entry, free food. After that, I go home by myself.
No deep psychology. Yeah.
Nope. Just want the basic stuff. Talking about rejection. You said something very interesting off camera.
Right.
Who deals with rejection better, men or women?
Oh, women deal with rejection worse, on average anyway. Because women are not used to being rejected. They don't put themselves out there. So when they put themselves out there emotionally, it can be very like traumatic to them when they get rejected. And obviously there's always the men that take rejection badly or become violent, etc. But I'm talking like just on a basic level, the average human being, how they react. Generally, women take rejection quite badly because they assume
you like them.
Yeah, there's a certain level of more entitlement to attention.
Do you think women are more entitled, thinking men have to work?
Yeah, you have to work for me. You know, I remember being in Barcelona, and then there was this girl that kept coming up to me and my friend, and I don't know if she was trying to get me or him, but eventually we just both realized like this girl's a bit weird, and then she came back like, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "Is that all you got from the fact that I'm not interested in you?" You know, and it's like there's a certain mentality of if I present myself, especially in a sexual way to a man, that he should accept me, you know?
And that's not fair.
Exactly. I remember when I was in a relationship and I'd gone to a club, and this girl kept trying to dance with me and whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm in a relationship, so this isn't going anywhere. And then like she just grabbed my crotch and was like, oh, the sex will be good though. And I was like, I just told you I have a girlfriend. Like, relax. Relax your nerves. You know.
It's interesting because as men, I hear those kind of stories every so often. But if the roles were, if a man wants to do that to a woman, it's game over.
Game over. Yeah, yeah.
Who's in control? Who do you think is more in control when it comes to relationships, men or women?
Well, it's kind of the standard spiel at the moment. You know, women control access to sex and men control access to relationships generally.
Explain that. Women control access to sex and men control access to relationship. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, because it's generally men that pursue women for sex, and then when you're in a sexual relationship, it's then on the man to say, okay, do you want to be my girlfriend? It's rare that a woman will be like, do you want to be my boyfriend? They may hint at it, but they'll never say, be my boyfriend. It's like, where's this going type of thing. So it's still the man's decision on whether it's a relationship or not. A woman can't just say, oh, you're my boyfriend, and then you're in a relationship. But if a man says, do you want to be my girl? Then she can, after you've been in that situation, say, yeah.
Do you think some women do ask men, like, listen, can you be my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah, it happens, of course.
What's your thought on that? You think we head in the right way, or you want it to still be men should always ask?
I think it should be men always asking, but it also depends on what dynamic you want. Because obviously the main title of the book is about healing masculinity. So if you want a woman that's more masculine, then yeah, it's okay for her to kind of wear the trousers. But most men don't want that. So I think it's important that you establish, okay, I want you to be my girlfriend. You establish the dating parameters and whatever, and it allows you to show you're able to lead, and she'll feel more safe in that situation. How can a woman feel safe when she's the one leading the army?
What was you like as a child, as a kid, a young one growing up? Obviously, it's full of confidence, popular. Dealt your first rejection at 15.
Right.
Moved on, but in between that, who was Terence? What was you like?
So you mean between 15 and now, or between like young and 15?
Let's go 15 and now.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'd say yeah, pretty confident, but also quite introverted at the same time. So I think that's always an interesting kind of mix, because people kind of expect you to be extroverted all the time just because you have a certain level of confidence. So I think that was definitely like an interesting thing to kind of toe the line between.
Because in the book you did say you're quite introvert.
Yeah.
And then you went on, and then you had to go and change your appearances as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like in that transition phase? Because you recognized what you wanted, you chased it,
right?
But it's still not a nice place to be in.
Yeah, of course. I'd say it's like growing pains. You're the what is it? How can I forget? Caterpillar in the cocoon. It's not comfortable when you're inside there, but then you're growing to be the butterfly.
Which everyone has the butterfly in them.
Exactly.
But bringing it out is what I want to focus on now. Like how did you do it? Did parents play an active role? Was it friends, or was it just solely you and you alone?
Yeah, me and friends, because I had a few friends that I kind of put onto the dating industry and like the content that I was viewing, so that when we go out, they're aware. One of the things that can happen a lot is having bad wingmen. So developing that relationship of you're a good wingman, I'm a good wingman.
What's a bad wingman?
Bad wingman, I'm sure most guys can relate to this if they're not the guy, but they'll be.
Russ is shaking his head.
So a bad wingman is the guy that will act up in front of girls. So the guy that will make jokes at your expense when you're in front of girls, the guy that's too like forceful, kind of, trying to hug up all on the girls when she's not even into you yet. There's no calibration. So, but I think that first point, the one, if you're in front of girls, You don't want a guy that kind of makes jokes at your expense, and because as I mentioned about demonstrating higher value, there's also demonstrating lower value, and that lowers both of your value. You know, if you're with a friend, you should be lifting them up when you're speaking about them and interacting with them. You know, because ultimately, if your friend is low value, what does that say about you? You know. Yeah.
So you went through that, friends.
Yeah, having to deal with bad wingmen, and you know, because you kind of transition your social circles as well, just you know through university and stuff. So you know you kind of leave your high school friends behind, and you start to choose who you want to be friends with. It's not, oh, we've known each other since year 7. It's now, oh, now I'm choosing to know you and to go out with you, and you know.
So most of the emphasis in the dating game then is on men. It's more like men have to bring the pack. What are men looking for in women? What kind of packages are we looking for?
Packages.
Like what do we expect? What do we expect women to be? What if there's level, you know, value? What type of value are we expecting women to be?
I think most men are looking for somebody that's attractive. You know,
are we talking about personality-wise or
physically,
look-wise?
physically, I think that's always.
So physical attraction for women is key.
Yes.
For men.
Yeah, in general, yeah. But there's also how does she make me feel, as well.
But that comes after.
Yeah. So there's normally a gateway. You know, the gateway is your physical attractiveness. You know, like body, face, dressing, you know. And it's also what stage the man is at as well. So most men, you know, will be looking for somebody that's shorter than them, you know, slim, thick, you know.
Slim thick.
You don't know what that is?
There's a type of slim thick?
Yeah. There's loads of little subcategories, you know.
Jesus. Where have I been?
Pardon?
Where have I been?
You're looking at old school terms, yeah.
Slim thick.
Well, but there's normally, men generally want women that are like, healthily, yeah. Or if they're skinny or larger, they'll expect something else to compensate, you know.
Who cares more about looks, men or women?
Men. Yeah. Yeah, men. It's tough though, because I think women actually care about looks equally, but there's enough other traits that can counteract it. Whereas men, we don't look for as many things as women look for. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Terence, we got a kid out there who wants advice on how to be an infinite man in the future.
Right.
What advice would you give him?
How old is he?
Let's say 18.
18, cool. Stepping out into the world.
Yeah.
The first thing is work on like your career or entrepreneurship or whatever path you're going to take. Start to develop that, because if you don't have a financial base, dating is going to be hard for you. And in terms of investing into yourself, if you want to buy books, courses, like whether it's public speaking or, you know, acting or something that increases your confidence, you're going to need, you know, money of some sorts. You need to at least work on your health to a basic standard. You know, if your health goes too much to the extremes, you know, then it's going to be hard to attract or cast a wide net. And then focus on what it is you want. You know, like at 18, you're probably not thinking about a long-term relationship, which is fair. But also don't just be out here indiscriminately. You know, so you need to really think, cool, what am I looking for? You know, am I looking to just connect and have great experiences short term, or am I looking to learn about women so that I can, you know, be able to choose my like long-term partner in the future? So am I gaining experience, or am I just recklessly out here, you know, might catch disease, might have a child without, thinking, so you have to really think, what do I want? And be ready to experience, because you're not going to get it all right. And you need to learn how to deal with rejection. And that comes from actually putting yourself out there and realizing it's not that deep. What does it reflect about you? Because normally when a guy is rejected, they feel bad because they think it's a reflection of them. But one of the common themes is that if she rejects you, normally it's 40% you and 60% her. So 40% of what you said, how you dressed, how you appeared, whatever. But the other 60% is maybe where she is in her life. She might have a boyfriend, an ex she's stuck on, she had a bad day, So you have to really realize a lot of it isn't about you. It's about her, where she's at that moment in time. So, yeah.
Jesus. Financial situation. How important is financial situation in a relationship?
Depends when you meet and who you're trying to meet. If you're in uni, it doesn't matter that much. If you're, up to maybe 25, 30, it's important, but you can still build together, or you can still build yourself. But I think once you start reaching, 30 plus, you need to start thinking about, I need to have my finances together. Not just for dating, but so I'm more confident. Because when you're not earning a lot of money, your confidence can lack. Because you're not able to have certain experiences, go on holidays, buy clothes, have a decent apartment or wherever your living situation is, or even if you're saving up for a house or whatever. If you're not able to do those things, you're not going to feel as good within yourself. I think that's one of the important things, that men experience a lot of social pressure to deliver, and if you're not financially in a good position, it can stress you out, and that will reflect when you're in a relationship with a woman.
That's very true, because I believe instead of chasing women, young men, go chase your future, your career, harness your skills.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I also am a firm believer is once you get to a financial state where you're comfortable, you, like you said, it comes with a lot of different type of confidence.
Exactly.
Where women will just bring themselves to you, then you can choose. Because I remember when I was young, I was not as confident as you were. I tried to chase the ladies, and I think I wasted a lot of time trying to chase. Keyword there, trying. Yeah. I wasted a lot of time trying to chase the ladies, whereas if I would have spent half of that time just focusing on myself, I think as I got older, I would have had more ladies coming my way. No, I would have put myself in different, better positions.
Right.
Where then, and I could have utilized my time wisely. So it's very interesting what you're saying, and some of it I'm agreement with it. I learned there's such thing as slim thick. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a slim thick. Is that like a Coca-Cola bottle kind of thing?
I guess, yeah. It's like slim, like so flat tummy, but might have like a bum and
a big bunda.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's slim thick. Hey, do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, if anyone out there ever asked me to take any pictures, it's a no. I'm not a warm-up guy. No, I'm joking.
Well, you didn't tell me what you disagree with.
I think men take rejection worse than women.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think, because I think our ego's bruised. Because I think men, we're very ego-driven.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it could be the fact that women don't put themselves in as many positions to take rejection because they're very calculated.
Right.
That's my belief. I think you could tell if a man is feeling insecure because that's due to the rejections they have. might end up drinking, abusive, passive aggressive.
Right.
But that's I don't deal with people on a regular basis in the field that you do. You deal with. Maybe in that industry, women deal with rejection worse than men.
Yeah, I guess it's a different area, because generally the men that I'm around, they're not gonna be violent from rejection, but maybe the average man that you just see in a club, they can, they may take it a bit harder because they're not on the path of I'm trying to get better at this. So I understand that, the rejection is part of the game.
Yeah, but you made some great points, because I think a lot of us. You made some great point, because I believe a lot of us don't understand how important it is to just self-maintenance.
Right.
Look after yourself. Like you said, pick up a book, read. Because even the dating game, I didn't know there was so much nuance to it.
Right.
You
just do it.
I tried.
Yeah.
But as you said, you got people planning for dates, wanting to meet women, and they only got £40 in a bank account.
Right.
That don't make sense.
Exactly. There's no.
You know what I mean? But take your time. Think about it. And I think most men, we're driven by one thing and one thing only. Most men, not all men. We want the end result. We want that catch.
Yes.
So we're not thinking about everything else. We're not thinking about looking good, smelling good, eating good, health. And we don't see ourselves how women would see us.
Right, exactly.
If we could do that, if we could just step back, okay, how would this woman see me? Or furthermore, would I like me?
Me, yes, that's an important one.
Would I like me? And if you don't like yourself, then go work on it, then come back.
Exactly.
Whereas we just want to go, because it's. But even the fact that you get clients, they're asking for game on how to pick up people when they walk into work.
Right.
You shouldn't be in constant search. What are you searching for? As you alluded to it, go work on yourself.
Exactly. Find that happiness in yourself, and it radiates outwards. Yeah. Women know when you're there's something joyful, positive about you. Yeah. Something, a presence. Yeah. And you can try and fake it, but you'll be tested. Yeah. You'll be tested. But if you're genuinely happy within yourself, you treat yourself differently, and naturally you'll treat women in ways that they will respond to positively. Yeah, I strongly agree with her. And ladies and gentlemen, it's actually a powerful book, because one thing I like about this book, there's a lot of your personal experience. Right. So this is your story, this is your journey, this is what got you to where you are. Because a lot of people give advice without having to experience it. Right. Where 100%. you went through it, it's in there, and you said that this is coming from my point of view, and then you're helping others. No, I appreciate that, and thank you for coming on. So what we do at the end is, that is your camera. Look into the camera. Yes. Close however you want to close. You can give us the 10 commandments to the pimping game if you want. You can close it with a prayer, a speech, a pickup line. I don't know. It's all yours. Right. How do I want to close? If you are looking to be better with women, what you're actually looking for is to be better with yourself. So the first stage is acknowledge where you are weak and chart out where you want to be strong. So whether that's confidence, whether that's just casual relationships, whether you're trying to find the one, or multiple relationships, polygamy, polyamory, anything. Know what you want, and that may change over time. But for now, know what you want and start moving towards it. So start working on, your financial situation, your fashion sense. Read books like The Infinite Man, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dada, Mode 1 by Alan Roger Curry, Models by Mark Manson, and just go out and do the thing. Don't sit in your room. Don't sit on your phone theorizing. You just need to go out there and do it. And go out and do it in person. Don't rely on apps. Don't rely on apps. I think that's a big thing, because apps are good, but they're not as good as when you're going about your day, you're going shopping, and you see that girl across the street, and you're able to have that conversation, get her number, go on an instant date, or whatever it is. That's more powerful than swiping loads and buying super likes and whatever, So that'll be my closing thing. Work on yourself, and life will work for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. If a guy at the age of 15 can deal with rejection to the point where he's now coaching others to be better men and find love, first of all, within themselves in order to project it outwards, imagine what you can do with the time, knowledge, and advice that's available to you. And if you look at when he started, the internet has not grown as it is today. You got everything: YouTube, social media, Amazon, Google, whatever, wherever there is Audible books, ITV, BBC One, Netflix, Amazon, whatever you can find. There's so much information readily available for you. But more importantly, as Terence said, go work on yourself and become a better person for everyone else. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, love, peace, and happiness. Thank you for tuning in. Please, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment where possible. Thank you very much. Yes, Sati. Oh, appreciate
Wonderful.
that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.